So for book club this month, we read a book called The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocumb. We had quite an interesting discussion about it because, as it turns out, it's not quite the mystery that we thought it was going to be or the conspiracy that we thought it was going to be. And everyone had a great discussion about how it kind of led you to believe it was going to be a certain kind of a book, and it was actually another kind of a book. It's about our guy who was very, very huge into playing the violin. He's like 25-ish, 24, 25-ish years old, and he's starting into his career of being a solo violinist, and he's about ready to head to the huge major competition in Russia, and then his Stradivarius violin is stolen. And then after that, it flashes back to kind of his whole story. Like he was just renting a yucky violin from school, but he persisted in it. His mom was not supportive at all, and he ended up getting a lucky break and getting a scholarship to a really awesome college. And he had a mentor at that time, the one that gave him the scholarship and kind of took him under her wing. He just rose from there. Also, the whole story of the violin, how much it means to him and his family. His family was slaves back in the day. And that's how they got the violin. Was the owner of the plantation gave the violin to his great grandpa, and it's been passed down their family. And now the slave owners' ancestors are claiming that it's their violin, so they want it back. So there's this huge conflict between that family and the violin and his own family and the violin, because they think his own family is terrible and they think they should sell it and get all the money. So in the end, the conspiracy might be this conflict and this story about the violin. Not necessarily the violin got stolen, but who actually owns the violin. I really enjoyed it because I actually loved that it turned out not to be like a mystery, really. It turned out to be this character story. It's a lot about racism in this genre of music artistry and how everybody looked down on him and thought he was crazy because he was a black violinist, and that's just not something that you see very often. And so the things that people said to him were just insane. The whole race issue was a bigger part of the story than like the mystery of who stole the violin. But we do get that answer at the end of the book. I really quite enjoyed it in the end because it was this human story. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. Yeah, if you get a chance to read it, I highly recommend.